And today we just set another record, the highest stock market in history. No inflation. And one of the great economists from the Wharton School of Finance, where I happen to go, he apologized. He says, you know, I think Trump outsmarted us all. And yesterday was the poll, and out of 77 economists, I came in second.
There's a Trump rally. Trump attends us, signed off on the death sentence on. It's crazy. I know it's Des Moines, Iowa. I'm just saying, like, there are so many people in that crowd that are going to get, because of Trump's big, beautiful bill. He's about to tell them straight to their faces that and all the poor bill is actually not going to all of you.
Well,
I promise.
I just want to say a very special hello to Iowa. We have had a good time. Iowa. We won so much here, we didn't know what to do. There was so much winning here. But we love Iowa, and we won all 3 times. So that's pretty good, and won by a lot. But I'm thrilled to be back in a state that I love, and I really do love it, too, with thousands of proud, hardworking patriots at the world-famous Iowa State Fairgrounds. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he's busted
18 months ago, the people of Iowa braved sub-zero temperatures. You remember that night? Oh, that was cold. It was cold, but we were warm inside because we won by a landslide to turn out the first in the nation caucuses, and you delivered 98 out of 99 counties. What the hell county didn't? What's the name of that county? Let's get them out of here.
Let's get them out of here.
98 out of 99. That's not bad, Susie, I guess, right? We'll take that. But for President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, thank you very much, everybody. Then in November, we won Iowa by a landslide, 13 points, and it was the single largest presidential victory in your state's history. That's not bad. And now we're back where it all started to celebrate 5 months of incredible success for our nation, and wish the Iowans and all Americans a very happy 4th of July. It's an honor to be with you. It's an honor. You know, a lot of people wanted us. When you're president, they want you. And if you're not president, they don't want you so much. But they really wanted us. And I said, nope, I'm going to Iowa because I promised I would go to Iowa. Sorry. I said, no way. There could be no better birthday present for America than the phenomenal victory we achieved just hours ago when Congress passed the one big, beautiful bill to make America great again. Right? And in the last election, the people gave us a historic mandate to cut taxes, raise take-home pay, bring back jobs, stop the invasion, that horrible invasion. Who would do that? Who would do that? That horrible, who would do that to us? Who would do that to us? Deport the illegals and slash hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud, and that's what we're doing. With this bill, every major promise I made to the people of Iowa in 2024 became a promise kept. You know, they had a report today on some crazy fake station, but it wasn't fake in this regard. They said, you know, this guy actually did more than he promised.
Did they actually pass the bill? Yes. He's killing half of these people.
And I have another hat back there. It says,
in a couple of years,
Donald
half
Trump
of these people are going to die.
Right about everything. And I said,
because they can't get health care, and they're celebrating it right now.
That sounds a little too conceited, but it happens to be true, I must tell you. This bill includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut in American history, the largest border security investment in American history, although I must tell you, if you saw last month, they had 0 people coming through our border, 0. I'm not sure that's even possible. You know, I'll take it, but somebody must have got to. The other character had hundreds of thousands of people every time. Sometimes in a day, they'd have over 100,000. We had 0, I don't know, for the month. So it must be a little wrong. Maybe they're 2 or 3 or something, but I'll take the 0. And the group that makes up those stats, you know, they're radical left Democrats, so it's probably true. We did a great job on the border. The largest welfare reforms and military upgrades in modern times. That's what we're doing. We rebuilt our military in 2016 in their first term. We rebuilt it. They gave some of it away to Afghanistan on the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. You remember that? We remember that? We don't have days like that.
Yeah,
we have days
God.
like we
our
just
days are
had
so
in
good now.
Iran. That's the kind of
all
days
the days, the best days.
Complete obliteration. It turned out that was complete obliteration. Think of these guys flying way up in the air on a dark night, no moon, no nothing, and they hit every single target. It's the size of one half a refrigerator door, a little size, 2 by 2. But this is a declaration of independence from a really national decline. We had a national decline. We were a laughing stock all over the world. We had a man as president who shouldn't have been there. You know that. He shouldn't have been there. But we really had independence now over the, if you look at it, the overtaxation, where we were being taxed out of our lives. Independence from overregulation. We have independence now from radical left bureaucrats, and independence from the largest alien invasion that I think any country has ever seen. We've never had anything like that. These people were fools. They allowed it to happen. You know, we've already cured inflation. Your gas prices are way down. Everything I said is done. But the one thing, it's hard. It's hard. Think of the time we spent on having
my brother had a total leopard ate
and
my
gang
face moment last night. I mentioned the family
prisoners
chat
from
that
all over the
300,000
world
kids in
coming to
Iowa
our
are on
country. We're
Medicaid.
getting
They will
them
all
out
lose
fast,
coverage. My
but
brother's like,
it's a
well, at least it's not
terrible thing
touching
what they've done to our
Hawkeye.
country, and I
That's
hope
what my
you
kids
remember
are on.
What they've done to our country, our beautiful country. 11,888 came into our country, and some we've already gotten out, but it's terrible. Many of them, more than 50%, more than one person. Can you believe it? And they let them come into our beautiful country. Just as I promised, we're making the Trump tax cuts permanent and delivering no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, right? Front row Joe. We got a lot of front row Joes here. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you. And we have Mr. Wall. Someday I'm buying that suit, I'm telling you. I like that suit. I'll walk up one day, I'll be dressed like a Wall, just like you. I think he's come to about 200 rallies, and that means you like us. And I think he's a very successful guy, too, believe it or not. He's a top accountant. Can you believe this? And he comes to rallies, he likes the rallies. Front row Joes, they're all successful. But this is what they do for entertainment. But now it's not entertainment. We've saved our country. We've got the hottest country anywhere in the world, as said by many, many leaders of other countries. And we will ignite trillions of dollars in economic growth, increase take-home pay for the typical family by more than $10,000 a year. And very importantly for Iowa, this bill rescues over 2 million family farms from the so-called estate tax or the death tax. In other words, before Trump, you were losing farms to the banks. Before Trump, you were losing the farms like nobody's ever seen before. You love your children. You don't feel so well. You pass away. You leave everything to your children, and they have to pay a big estate tax or a death tax, as we call it. And they couldn't do it. They go out and borrow money, and all of a sudden the bank is foreclosing on the farm. Not going to happen. You have no more estate tax. You have no more death tax to pay. Now, that's if you love your children. It doesn't matter. Just forget about what I said. Not going to help you. But if you love them, or if you love somebody that you're leaving it to, think of that. No death tax, no estate tax, no going to the banks and borrowing from, in some cases, a fine banker, and in some cases, Shylocks and bad people. But they took away a lot of family.
What?
They destroyed a lot of families. But we did the opposite. So just remember, to me, it's
What
so
did he
important.
just
And
say?
it's mostly important for places like we're at right now. It's really
Wait, what was that?
proud of it. At the same time,
Isn't that a bad word?
$1.5 trillion in spending. So wasteful spending is being cut by $1.5 trillion. And I got to tell you, I want to thank Republican congressmen and women because what they did is incredible last night, and the Senate, the Republican
Isn't
Senate,
Shylock like most commonly used as an anti-Semitic term?
Tax cuts and rebuilding our military. Not one Democrat.
I know it's a character from Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. He's a Jewish moneylender.
But all of the
he's a Jewish merchant.
We've given, and they wouldn't vote
the
only
OG.
because they hate Trump. But I hate them too. You know that.
So the OG Jewish merchant.
I really do. I hate them. I cannot stand them because I really believe they hate our country. You want to know the truth? But it kicks illegal aliens off of Medicaid and food stamps and allows us to hire 3,000 new Border Patrol agents and 10,000 new ICE agents, and they are great patriots, the Border Patrol and ICE, to carry out the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. And
ADL says it's
and I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that, but we have a country. We have a country to run, and we have so many people coming in that shouldn't be here. And they did. They came in from prisons, and they came in from drugs and gangs and drug lords, the worst in the world. They came in from mental institutions. They emptied mental institutions into our wonderful country. And I know exactly what's going on in Iowa. You had some horrible crime in Iowa caused by illegal aliens, but we're getting them the hell out of here. We have no choice.
VP Joseph Biden refers to those who make bad loans to members
of the
military.
And our great, big, beautiful bill will build the Golden Dome missile defense shield. We're going to have the best shield. And you saw that just the other day where the missiles are being shot down one after another. You know, they called me to tell me they have to take a shot at us. This was Iran, very respectful. That means they respect us. Because we dropped 14 bombs, they said we'd like to take 14 shots at you.
We respectfully bombed them, and they respectfully bombed us back.
Where they'd do it, I said, good. We emptied out the fort. It was a beautiful military base in Qatar who treated us really fantastically well. And they said, sir, 1 o'clock, okay? I said, it's fine. We could make it later. And we had nobody but 4 gunners. We had 4, they call them gunners, and they shoot the Patriots. They shoot the missiles up. It's hard to believe. So all of a sudden, they said, we're ready. And they were a little nervous about doing it, I want to tell you. Can you imagine? They were nice enough. This is Iran, to call me and tell me that they would like to shoot me at 14 times. So they want to shoot us. And I said, go ahead. And they shot 14 high-grade, very fast missiles. Every single one of them was shot down routinely by these 4 unbelievable gunmen. And they did their job.
I mean, his retelling of events is a little embellished, but it is pretty much how it goes.
Nuclear facility.
He's not wrong.
People did. And you know, they're going to be in Washington tomorrow at the White House. We're going to be celebrating. We took not only the pilots, but the people that flew the other planes, but also the mechanics that had these planes going for 37 hours without a stop. You know, we had it was so far away, we had 52 tankers. Think of that, 52 that's loaded up with oil. I wouldn't want to fly one of those suckers over Iran. I say, what happens if they're shot at? Well, sir, that's a tough situation. It's not a pretty sight, but they were unbelievable. 52 tankers to load them up. They followed the planes in, and they never had to stop for fuel. They went 37 hours, actually. And how incredible. What equipment. What equipment. And, you know, China, Russia, they were all watching. Everybody was watching. We have the greatest equipment anywhere in the world. We have the greatest people anywhere in the world. And we have the strongest military anywhere in the world. But we're going to fully modernize our air traffic control system and expand school choice and really so much more. By the way, the air traffic control, you probably don't have that problem here. You know, you have planes land like they... But in some congested areas, you see it with the helicopter,
backwater town,
other things. If we had great equipment,
nobody comes to your backwater town. You don't have that problem.
And then Biden canceled the order when he came in, but he canceled a lot of orders because he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
When I came in here, people were thinking I'm an alien. They've never seen a plane before.
Very simply, the one big, beautiful bill will deliver the strongest border on earth, the strongest economy on earth, the strongest military on earth, and ensure the United States of America will remain the strongest country anywhere on this beautiful planet of ours. 165 days into the Trump administration, America is on a winning streak like, frankly, nobody's ever seen before in the history of the presidency. I said, they said, you know, sir, you're going to go down as one of the greatest presidents.
We have the largest skate park in the country. Damn your lies. That brings tens of people a month. Sorry. My apologies to Des Moines, Iowa, and the one HasanAbi head there.
I said, better than Honest Abe Lincoln? They said, yes, sir. I said, I like this guy that said that. That's a smart guy. He's up for a big promotion right now.
Also,
But just a few months ago, our country was cold.
I'm just making a joke about what Trump is saying about Des Moines, Iowa, okay? I'm not saying it's a backwater town.
We were laughed at. We were a bunch of clowns. They were laughing at our president. They were laughing at everything having to do with our country. I was in Saudi Arabia. I was in Qatar. I was in UAE. Great leaders, strong, powerful, very rich leaders too, by the way. But great leaders, very smart people. And they said to me, the king of Saudi Arabia, but the three said the same thing essentially. They said, you know, a year ago we thought your country was dead. Dead. Horrible word, dead. And they were right. The country was close to death. And he said, and you know what? You've been in there. At that time, it was 4.5 months. It was a couple of months ago. He said, right now, you're in the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's no country in the world. You talked about all over the world. You got the hottest, smartest, sharpest country. And by the way, look at our stock market. We're taking in.
Everyone's talking about you, man. Everyone's talking about you. Not in the way that you think, but.
And today we just set another record, the highest stock market in history. No inflation. And one of the great economists from the Wharton School of Finance, where I happen to go, he apologized. He says, you know, I think Trump outsmarted us all. And yesterday was the poll, and out of 77 economists, I came in second. I want to find the guy that came in first. There's somebody came in first. Can you believe it? But we said what was going to happen.
He's talking about the stock market recovering from what, you might ask? Oh, from the last time it dipped spectacularly because of his actions, because he decided to implode global trade in its entirety, only to try to quietly piece it back together to the point that it was before he broke it.
Gasoline is way down. See what's going on with eggs. Eggs are way down, eggs. Remember, I came in my first week, the fake news, those guys right there, look at all of them. Wow, wow. No, a lot of fake. No, but we like them. It just shows you, when you can get every story, 100% of the stories, no matter what you do that's good, they make it as bad as possible, and then you win in a landslide. There's something wrong. But the fake news hit me with eggs. Remember, first week, 4 days. Eggs are through the roof. I said, I just got here. What's going on with eggs? Tell me. I didn't hear about it. They're up 5 times higher than they should be. They were going through the roof, but they were blaming me. I said, I just got here. And within 2 months, our great Secretary of Agriculture, who I think is with us tonight, Brooke, where's Brooke? Oh, look at you. Look, she is here. She flew all the way she comes from Texas, but I think she likes Iowa maybe even better. Look at her. You did a good job with groceries and with eggs. We'll tell you, it's true. They said, we have them this time, finally. It took an egg to get me, but that didn't happen either. Now they're down to a normal price, and people are ordering like crazy. But inflation is dead. 401ks and retirement accounts just hit an all-time record high. Did I hear what I think I heard? But we've achieved the lowest level of illegal border crossings in U.S. history, 0 illegals. Think of it, we had 0. And as I said, and I'll say it again, I love it because I have never seen any country suffer. No country has ever. There's never, don't worry, it's only fireworks, I hope. Famous last words. My famous last words, Trump said, don't worry, it's only fireworks. You always have to think positive. I didn't like that sound either. You know?
What the fuck?
But last month, American-born workers gained 830,000 new jobs, a record. That's American-born. While the illegal aliens lost 340,000. And we don't want bad for them, but look, we have a country to run, and we want to have them come in, and we want to have them help our farmers. You know, you probably saw I got myself into a little trouble because I said, I don't want to take people away from the farmers. And we're going to do something I think that's going to be good because We want all the criminals out. Everybody agrees that we're finding the criminals, the murderers, the drug dealers. We're getting them the hell out of here. But the farmers, some of the farmers, many of you sitting right here, I have 4 friends right in the 5th row. But some of the farmers, you know, they've had people working for them for years. And we're going to do something. We're working with Christie. And we're going to do something that we're going to sort of put the farmers in charge. And if a farmer's been with one of these people that work so hard, they bend over all day. We don't have too many people can do that. But they work very hard, and they know them very well. And some of the farmers are literally, you know, they cry when they see this happen. If a farmer is willing to vouch for these people,
pull up, bro.
In some way, Christy, I think we're going to have to just say that's going to be good, right? You know, we're going to be good with it, because we don't want to do it where we take all of the workers off the farms. We want the farms to do great, like they're doing right now. So, Christy Norm has done a fantastic job, and Tom Homan.
About slavery.
Oh God, he wants to bring
and
it back.
we're working on legislation right now, Susie. Right?
We're
working on legislation right now where
we're just not going to pay
farmers.
them,
Look, they know better. They work with them for years. You had cases
where
not here, but just even over the years where people have worked for a
fucking
farm
joke.
for 14, 15 years, and they get thrown out pretty
Oh,
viciously.
don't worry, it's only fireworks.
We
It's
gotta work with
crazy.
the farmers
Just before you got here.
and people
Oh, my
that have
God.
hotels and leisure properties.
Happy
too.
4th of July.
We're going to work with them, and we're going to work
Oh,
very
man.
strong and
What a
smart.
disaster,
and we're going
man.
to put you in charge. We're going to make you responsible.
What a disaster
And I
this
think that
is.
that's going to make a lot of people happy. Now, serious
Am I
radical
rightfully
right people
upset
who I
by the
also happen to
Democrats'
like a lot,
response to this?
they may not be quite as happy
To the
but
big,
they'll
beautiful
understand.
bill?
Won't
Well,
they?
no,
You
like,
think
what's
so?
his name? Hakeem Jeffries or whatever. Like, the Democrats are obsessed with procedural victories. Like, oh, shit, I talked for 8 hours straight, as if that means anything. And they're like celebrating him for that bullshit. Like, just go on Twitch. You'll find a million different people talking for 8 hours straight. Like, who gives a
Yeah.
And like,
Nobody's celebrating me.
the quote-unquote party leaders like Kamala Harris only come out, or and Joe Biden, or I mean, I know they're not the party leaders, but they come out to say something after the bill has passed. Like, the bill is already passed. And you're like, oh, they're like, oh, shame on the Republicans for taking away health. Where were you?
They will write it.
Where were you? Why are you now just showing up?
When you
All right,
can't
bro.
be sarcastic.
Let
as a
the man
poli-
yap
Well,
a
if
little
you're
bit.
me,
Oh, sorry.
you can't be if you're.
Good take, though.
I just had to.
So I want to say I was only kidding.
Get that off my chest.
No, the fake news will write it. Donald Trump wants all farmers thrown the hell out of our country. The audience booed the hell out of him. There was no boo. No, they're fake news. That's why nobody watches them anymore. Violent crime is plummeting, and we're on track to reach the lowest murder rate ever recorded by the end of this year. It looks like we're doing way good. And that's knowing that we have a lot of people in the country that we didn't have in the country 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, we have a lot of people that they allowed into the country that are serious criminals. A lot of them are on their way out, however. Iran's nuclear enrichment has been obliterated. Remember when CNN said, it wasn't obliterated. It was maybe damaged or damaged badly, but obliterated is too strong a word. No, it was obliterated. That's now been proven. The Atomic Energy Commissions, everything that's been obliterated.
He's just lying.
And they were trying to demean me by saying that, but they were really demeaning those great
Yeah, they're brave
pilots and people and mechanics.
One of them
that
was
got
a
those
woman.
planes over there.
Oh,
and
God.
were able to shoot from
I
high
love
up in the air,
fascist
going
women.
very, very fast, with potentially
As
a
long as
lot
they're
of
a
things
woman.
being shot at them, and hit every single one. Every single. They're trying to demean me, but to me they were demeaning them, and they got out there. We hit every
DEI
single target.
bombers.
They know better than anybody. But now that's been proven. It's CNN fake news and scammers that work for them, scam writers that work for them. But we understand it, and we fight it back. And a lot of people say, sir, don't criticize it because they're beneath you. No, they're not beneath me. Nobody's beneath. You got to put it, otherwise people don't understand. If you don't say something about it, you got to say it. These people.
It's like me
one
talking
of the
to my
greatest
long-term
military
community members about why I have to
camps
address
in
drama
the history of our
sometimes.
country, and I want them to be appreciated for it. So they're coming to the White House
Why the fuck
tomorrow
did he
night.
choose Iowa?
And I'm signing the bill with the Speaker of the House. And by the way, Mike Johnson did a great job.
What a cuck, Mike Johnson.
John Thune did a great job.
Oh,
Everybody.
God, he's such a
This
cuck.
was this whole 2 weeks has been incredible, hasn't it? You know, when you think of all of the victories, we stopped 5 nations from going to war. and somebody else will get the Nobel Peace Prize for their writing about Donald Trump.
86,000
a professor at some school that you've never heard of
will lose Medicaid.
Has received the Nobel Prize for
according
his
to the Kaiser
writing
Family
about
Foundation's
Donald Trump
estimations.
and what Donald Trump did. I'll say, what about me? I don't get it.
When will they?
Think of it. We stopped.
Oh, so they won't feel them for 2
We
years?
stopped.
Well,
India,
there are already
Pakistan,
some rural hospitals that are already in a dire state
Kosovo,
are shutting,
Serbia. They've
like
been
they're
fighting
shuttering
for
their
a long
operations
time.
ahead of time
And a lot of it was
because they
trade.
just know
said,
that they
"You're not
can't
gonna trade
withstand
with us
it."
if you're gonna go to war." And
So
India,
some
Pakistan
closures have
was
already
big,
taken
very
place. Like
big
one
for
in, I think it was in
different
like
reason. I mean, they have
Nebraska
little
that
things called
that
nuclear
shuttered its
weapons. You would've had
operations.
Pretty soon, a nuclear war. We stopped that. In Africa, you look at what was going on in the Congo with Rwanda. That war was going on for 30 years. 30 years.
Holy
and we
shit.
stopped it, and it was vicious. 6 million people killed. And it was a bad
I
one.
bet there's people
It was
losing Medicaid.
killed and killed
Medicare
badly.
right behind
Machetes.
them. Like,
Machete.
oh,
You
yeah.
know what a
That's
machete is?
crazy.
You
No,
know
that's what I
showing.
said. Like there's like that
And
guy.
we just did a
that
really
guy needs
great job. And then,
Medicaid
of
for
course, you
long-term
cap it
care.
off with
Yeah,
the
well,
hit
look at the
perfect
woman
hit
next to him.
in
The
Iran,
woman.
where
This lady
Yeah,
definitely, she's
Jesus,
gone.
holy
she needs,
shit.
she needs those SNAP benefits. They're gone.
I'm surprised she's not on oxygen yet. I mean, not to be, you know,
You're
insensitive.
gay. You can fat shame a little bit.
But
They
my
wanna
God,
It was your month. You didn't
she's
get to
one
celebrate it.
chin away from a ventilator.
wanna meet-
I'm not
Okay,
even.
okay.
What, is
Dial
that,
back
is
to
that
fat
too
shaming.
much?
Dial back to fat
allies
shaming.
have
Oh my God.
I mean, but I
it's
feel
no
like
longer
you can
your
fat,
month.
I feel like you can fat shame fascists. I feel like you can.
It's no
I
longer.
feel like it's safe.
It's no longer your month. Okay. It's no longer your month.
Is
Your
that
month
too
is
much?
over. Your month is over.
I feel like
Pack
you
it up, Skittle Squad.
I can't.
We have Matt Whitaker from Iowa. I wasn't going to hire him, and then I said, Matt,
Sorry,
you come
I
from Iowa,
apologize.
don't you? Yes, sir, I do. Okay, you're hired. Okay. Anybody comes from Iowa, I hire. And every branch of the U.S. military is setting records
gosh,
for
she
new
sat
enlistments.
down.
You know,
God.
remember a year ago, it was embarrassing.
She
They
heard
couldn't get
you.
anybody to go into the military.
too
They couldn't
much?
get
I
anybody
mean,
to go
come
into the
on.
police.
She heard
the
you.
fire
She
department.
heard you.
Voted to
They couldn't
take
get
away your.
anybody to go into
All right,
government.
fine. I
She
guess
voted
it's too
to take
much.
away her
Now
health
we
care.
just
I
set a
guess- I'm
record,
sorry,
a new
I'm sorry.
record of enlistments
I just got
in
woke
every
scolded.
single branch of the military.
I just got
and
back
in
from the
all
protest
police
outside the
force.
Savannah. Nazi got punched in the
One
face,
year.
and like 4 people got hit by cars, and the
1
cops
year
didn't give
ago,
a
I
damn.
remember saying to our great First Lady, I said, you know, First Lady, I call her First Lady because it makes me feel good. First Lady, isn't it terrible? You're saying, good night, First Lady, my darling. Because it reminds me that I'm president. That's why. Now, I said, First Lady, it's terrible. Nobody wants to join our military force. And you know, that was very demeaning to the people that are in there, that have been in there for a long time doing a good job. And then all of a sudden, like, we get elected and there's a spirit in the country and we start doing well. We have victory after victory in so many different things, especially economically. We're doing so good. We have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing in from other countries. We have plants being built all over.
Oh, my
I mean, a little
God.
less here because you have enough with your farm. Oh, by the way, but I did get beef and I got ethanol into Europe. You saw that. You saw
Yeah,
that.
we're making them eat our shitty beef.
United Kingdom, they didn't want to do it. You know, they never took our beef. They
Yeah,
never took
I wonder
our
why,
ethanol,
dude.
and we said, got to do it, and they did, and they were great. We made a wonderful
Wait,
trade
so-
deal with them. But
Yeah, no, literally.
we're doing that all over.
Wait,
Is
so
ethanol
what
very
did he do
important?
to-
So for
Oh,
other
he,
ways?
he forced the UK to lower their food standards so that they will buy our beef. I was joking about this is like
That's crazy.
this is the only way to make up for the trade deficit with any country.
So he's.
That's right. You're gonna have to eat the poisoned cattle. Mad cow disease. Our cows are more mad than ever before.
They have different forms of vegetation coming in at prices that were very, very bad for you. And a lot of it comes in because
Chlorinated
look-
chicken was a big talking point around Brexit, but it seems the U.S. wants to make it
And we're
real.
not
The U.S.
letting that
already is
happen
making
to
it
the
real,
farmers
baby.
and to Iowa, to
America
Nebraska
first,
and
not Britain.
Wisconsin and all these other places that have been so great. And in breaking news just yesterday, we reached a historic trade agreement with Vietnam to open their markets to American exports with zero tariffs. They get zero tariffs. And you're going to be giving them vast amounts of farm product, including beef, pork, poultry, dairy, and pure Iowa ethanol. You're going to be given all of those,
Pure Iowa
all of those
ethanol.
products. And the fact is, I could go on and on, but the fact is really strong, and it's stronger than it's ever
Dude,
been.
it's so funny. So, like, people sometimes get mad when I say Iowa is all corn. And here is Donald Trump proving that. They're celebrating pure Iowa ethanol. Like, you're just, it's corn folk, okay? I'm sorry. It's just all corn, okay? That's all this is.
And this is going to blow it away. This incredible national resurgence is happening just
We're
in
gonna
time
feed
for
the
one of
world
the biggest
corn,
events.
whether they like it or not.
Exactly 1 year.
They're gonna eat our corn, folks.
That's right. Bond me now with corn. They're going to be pooping out little kernels every day, folks. The Vietnamese, they're making the banh mi with corn. Pho! They're making pho!
Right here at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. And tonight, here I am. Okay? Promise is kept. Promise is kept. It's an honor, too. It's an honor because you've been with me from the beginning. Thank you.
Gross.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
No, it is an honor. You've been with me from the beginning. It was without doubt. In fact, I had some moments when I said maybe they might not, fake stories were put out there.
It's cool that they found the only black
don't like
person in
corn.
Iowa to stand
like
right
corn. I love
behind
corn.
Donald Trump.
He's barely on the
give you
screen
fake
too.
news.
That's
You
like,
think
that
that's gonna
is
hurt me in
literally,
Iowa?
like, statistically
My
the
numbers
one
went up.
black guy in the
I don't
entire
know. I
state.
can't figure you
And he's
people out.
right there.
This evening, we're officially launching
I
America
won
250.
100% of the black vote in Iowa. They called me racist. And here he is, right behind me.
Our great American flag and our glorious American freedom. Did anybody see the beautiful flag I put up in front of the White House? Right? Everyone's
dildo.
liking it. I actually put two up. I put one in the front and one
is
in the
this
back.
generally what all these like?
I didn't want to go too
Is
crazy.
this
I
all
thought
they
that
care
would be
about
enough.
is like
Yeah, they put
optics
two
with the
fl-
colors?
two
and
flag
that's-
big as
poles,
you can
88
get. We're
feet,
proud of it. We
and the
will be
rope goes
announcing
through the pole
many more
as
details
opposed
in
to
the weeks to
outside
come,
the
but
pole.
there are just
Back in the
some of
day,
the
they used to have flag poles, and the rope would get rusty and dusty and terrible, and then the flags would fall, and America was falling. But I put the best, beautiful poles. I know that is literally how he described the poles, by the way. I'm not making this up. He actually talked about how big and beautiful the poles were and how the ropes are actually
I
inside.
feel like he's constantly messaging to the dumbest guy.
Yeah. Yes, they are also 88 feet tall. Yes.
Did he talk about
crowd
the
just like we do
fact
tonight.
that now
That's a big crowd. I
there's
can't
no
even
pride
see the
flags
end
in the White House,
So
and we
thank you back
instead
there.
are putting
I'd like to
snow.
move the press
They,
back.
they just kind of
They
so they
love
could
that.
see
I
better.
They
see
don't
that
even
on Twitter.
They
But
don't
the
even
Great
talk
American
about-
State
they don't
Fair
even talk
will
about
bring
Pride Month at all
America
this-
250
I feel like this time
programming to
around.
fairgrounds
No, I
across
saw-
the country,
I saw a tweet
culminating
about
in a giant patriotic festival.
A new
Next summer on the National
animated
Mall,
figure punching
featuring exhibits from
an
all
animated
50
figure
states,
dressed as
all
the American
50
flag
states are
kicking
excited, and I was excited.
a pride
You know,
animated
when I,
figure in
did
the figure in
250s,
the
there was
balls.
nothing I
What are
expected
you
because I
seeing
can't
on your
see.
timeline?
It was
That was my
Gunther
baby.
Eagleman.
Because you happen to be
Remember that guy? You know that
250 years
stupid
old,
guy on
but-
Yeah, I
Twitter?
do.
What I
Yeah,
did
he
do is
blocked
during
me.
my
He
first
blocked you.
I don't
term,
know
I got
why.
the Olympics, and I got the great soccer. You know that whole deal, right? We call it
I don't
soccer, they
follow
call
him.
it
He just-
football.
it got fed.
I got
It's-
them both. I got the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's the platform.
First I got
Austin's
the
a-
Olympics.
Austin's a
and
Gunther
I
head.
got it.
OG.
I was president, and I said, it's a shame. It's a shame. I got the World Cup, and I have the Olympics, and I did it. And you have no idea. President Obama didn't want to make a call to the Olympics. You know why? Because he went to Switzerland or wherever, and he said, if a president goes to get the Olympics, you have to have a deal. You have to be chosen. He went there and he came in fourth, so he hated them, I guess. What? And he was unwilling to make a call, and they called me up. Democrats called me up, actually, from Los Angeles, and I said, I'll do it. I made the call, and I couldn't get the people off the phone because they were so starved for love, because nobody would call them from. Anyway, we made a deal. I got the Olympics. Then we got the World Cup.
I kind
with
of
Johnny.
believe that the
We got
Democrats
World
called
Cup,
him,
and I
though.
got them both, and I looked
That
at my
sounds like
people.
some
I said,
Democrat
isn't it a
shit.
shame? I got these two,
Some
but it wasn't in the
bipartisanship
next
that
4
they'd
years.
be-
It was right after
that they were
that,
trying
and
to
the
do.
one after that.
Mr. President,
And
we
I got the
secretly love
Olympics.
this
I
bill.
got to
Please
have
don't
250,
reveal this
so it was
information.
a pretty wild term. But I got these two things that are incredible. Nobody else could have done it. I'm telling you, everybody wanted it. Nobody
Yeah,
could have
not
done
one,
it.
but two polls.
And I said, and I won't be president because I'll be president for 4 more years, but it won't be. And then they cheated and rigged the election. They rigged. They don't even turn off the cameras when I say that now because now they know it's true too. But they knew it was true before. Remember, the cameras used to immediately turn off. You see all those beautiful red lights go off. Now I can say whatever I want because then they know it's true. But they knew it was true before.
What?
It's fake news. That's what they call it. But you know what? The This term is much more consequential than if I had done it the more traditional way. This was slightly harder, believe me. It's slightly more dangerous because there are criminals on the other side that tried to put your president in jail and went after him, just like they do in third world countries. And we all beat them together.
Which is why we're doing Gestapo and concentration camps, which is not done in a third world country style way. We're eroding due process. Also not third world country style, okay? Very different, cool style, America style.
Television, I did whatever you had to do. I had to explain it. Then they say, wow, that's fake stuff. It was fake. They're a bunch of bad people, but we kicked their ass and we're going to continue to do well. And I appreciate it. And there was nobody more loyal than Mr. Kaufman, who's fantastic, and Iowa, and his son, who's maybe more fan. Where the hell is he? Stand up. Where's your boy? His son is better than him, I'm telling you. And he doesn't mind. I have a lot of fathers who would be very insulted if I said that, but they're bad people. He's a good guy. He's got a son who's fantastic. You know that. I think he's probably here someplace. Where is he? Oh, he's better looking than you, too. Good. Thank you. Great job. Nobody more loyal than the people of Iowa during that period of time when we had to show our stuff. But we just celebrated the 250th anniversary of the Army at Fort Bragg. You know, they changed the name, and we changed it back to Fort Bragg.
That sucks.
The people of North Carolina came up. They said, sir, we want to really have the name of Fort Bragg back. Everybody was saying that. They kept calling it Fort Bragg. I changed it back.
We want it back.
These radical left lunatics changed the name of Fort Bragg. So we won World War II. We won World War I. We won other wars. We won everything from Fort Bragg and other places.
What is he?
So we were also changing.
Oh, my God. Back-to-back World War champions.
Change the name now. I tell people, you know, it's incredible. We're the only people
He almost
who win
did World War
two
III.
world wars from a place, and then we say, let's change the name. So we changed it back, and the people are very happy in North Carolina right now. And we just celebrated
World War II, like the last war
because
we
the
won?
250 was for the Army, was 1 year earlier than which makes sense. We had a little Army. We did well. And
the rest is just war crimes and
then the nation itself. And
the rest
we had a
just
beautiful
never
parade
ended.
in Washington, D.C. the other day.
There
It was
was ongoing
fantastic.
conflict.
You know, it was amazing.
Korea War.
Because it was so, the weather was
That
so
kinda
overcast and it
ended
looked so
in a
bad.
truce.
And a week before, they said, oh, it's
I would
going to
say that
rain.
was a
I said, oh,
genocide.
man, we're bringing all these Army tanks. We're bringing
With a
all these
stalemate.
people, these men and women. They're going to march down Fifth Avenue or wherever. This is terrible. It's going to rain. And then on the day, we woke up. Rain is projected all night long, heavy.
Oh, he's saying that was a lie. Fake news.
Wet. My hair's
God,
soaking wet.
God lied.
I'll be-
God,
I'll
that's
be-
gross. Oh,
I'll
they're
be
cheering.
crazy.
They're cheering for
I'll
him.
say-
They're
I'll
cheering
say,
for
you
him
know,
taking his hat
this
off.
is terrible. It's going to rain 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The thing was at 8 in the evening. 1 o'clock. Rain is forecast at levels you haven't seen before. I said, oh, this is... And so the generals called me, sir, we could change it, but this is the Army. We're sort of used to bad weather. I said, no, don't change it. I'll wear a raincoat, and I'll wear a big fat hat so I don't get totally drenched. I'll be okay. I'm such a tough cookie. And then what happens? We get there, and there's no rain, and we go 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of watching these great guys marching down Fifth Avenue. It never rained. And then I thought to myself, global warming, they're telling us what's going to happen in 250 years to our planet, but they can't tell us it's going to rain 3 hours before the event. In 250 years from now, the planet's going to burn up or freeze up. And, you know, remember when they said they called it global warming, then global cooling? They had all different things.
None of these people are going to be alive in the next 5 years, especially after in the next 2 years when you kick them off of their healthcare coverage. They're super dead. They don't give a fuck about no warming climate, dog. Don't worry.
In 100 years, the oceans are going to rise 1/4 of an inch and everyone's going to be wiped out. No, you're going to have more ocean
at the end of his speech.
If that happens, it's okay. Not the worst. And think of it with all of the
Probably
nuclear
100
weapons.
degrees out there.
Remember Biden had always used to say, it is it's an existential threat. He loves the word existential. It's an existential threat. What is? I don't know, climate change. Remember that? Always,
Yeah,
that's
defunded
dangerous
Noah,
too, because they're going to take
which is
that.
cool, of course.
And they're going to say, he couldn't say existential. So you can't imitate people either. Remember I used to imitate Biden, couldn't get off the stage, and I'd walk into walls? And I called my wife, because it's always on television. I said, how was it, baby? How good was that? We had 44,000 people. Nobody else could do it. I have to brag a little bit, you know, because what the hell? There's a little truth to that. But I brag a little bit. I say, how good was I? You were really good, but, you know, what happened? You couldn't find this. You couldn't get off the stage. I said, no, I was imitating Biden. No, well, that's not the way it showed up. They showed you hitting walls, bunking your head on walls. So even like the word existential, when I imitate him saying it, tonight it's going to be on CNN. He couldn't speak. He couldn't say the word.
He couldn't speak when he tried to say there's an existential crisis due to anthropogenic climate change. Like he's undermining Biden, and he's also sometimes undermining the fear mongering, as he's saying, about climate change.
States Marines. They're all good.
What did he say? The crowd only.
And I'm a little prejudiced.
Runs one of
and one of them is going to be really
like
great. It's called Space Force, because that was my baby.
Deportation reference.
Remember, they wanted to terminate it.
They tune out the rest of it.
First year of Biden's administration, they wanted to terminate Space Force, and the military wouldn't let them. And it's turned out to be one of the most important there is. I was very proud of that Space Force, and they're doing great. In addition, just as I promised 5 years ago tonight in my speech at Mount Rushmore, where a certain governor at that time, who's now our Homeland Security chief, Christy, no, stand up, Christy. Now I don't have to introduce you later.
Dog killer.
You know, I hired Tom Homan for the border, and I said, Tom, I want you to give me who'd be the best to be the Secretary of Homeland Security, which is essentially his boss.
Is that the woman I got to look at every time you go through TSA?
Yeah,
Christy,
the one that says you need a true ID.
You got to be kidding.
Real ID.
She's a
I
great
feel like
person.
I'm on
She's
like
smart,
a fucking amusement park ride.
Is she tough enough?
She's like one of the
Sir,
fake
she's
actors.
the toughest person around.
Yeah.
I said, you, and she is.
She killed
she's
her
tough as hell.
dog.
I've
Killed
learned.
a puppy right
I'll tell you,
there.
a lot of bad
Shot the
people have learned
puppy
that she's
right
done a
in the
fantastic
head.
job. Thank you. Thank you. But we're going to be officially opening the National Garden of American Heroes, a vast outdoor park featuring statues of the greatest Americans who ever lived. You know, they took down a lot of our statues.
Robert E. Lee.
They took
Call
down
me
the
Christy,
statues
know
of
the
some
way
of
I'm
the
about to
greatest
kill some
people that we've
dogs
ever
tomorrow.
had. I stopped them from
Jefferson
taking
Davis.
down Thomas Jefferson. They wanted
That's
to take
right.
the Thomas
Some of the greatest
Jefferson
Americans to ever
memorial. They
live.
wanted to rip the hell out of the statue inside. You can imagine who they were going to put
Benedict
up. Let's get rid
Arnold.
of Thomas Jefferson.
Real
So
good
we
guy.
stopped them.
Misunderstood.
We signed a law. Do you remember that night? It was crazy. And they were marching toward the Jefferson Memorial, and I took out an old bill from 1909, and it was a bill that if you so much as touch old, because today they don't do these things. They don't do it like they used to. Today you could never get it passed. It said if you so much as touch a monument or a statue, you go to jail
Oh, here he
for a
goes.
10-year period. No anything.
Here he goes.
So they were marching down there, and in the middle of their march, I gave a news conference. I said, anybody that touches, and I'm signing, immediately goes to jail for a 10-year period. That march broke up so quickly you've never seen. They said, it's a miracle. What happened? I signed a little bill that said you go to jail for a 10-year period. It was a great thing. It was an old bill that wasn't used. In fact, I don't know. I hope we don't have to use it again. But they're learning that, you know, we saved Los Angeles. If we didn't send in the National Guard, I would have said it in the
Thank you,
military if
Mr.
they
President.
needed it.
That was sick.
But if we didn't send in the National Guard,
That's right. It was on fire.
Los Angeles would have been burned down to the ground, just like half of their houses were burned down to the ground because they
What
didn't
is he
give water.
talking
that they
about?
had
He's talking about the wildfires.
I'm pleased to report that
that's
the One
fucked.
Big Beautiful Bill includes full funding for
Jesus
those
Christ.
statues. And we're going to do statues to our greatest
That's wild.
Americans. And we're going to let the people choose who they are. You better choose me. No, I'm only kidding. I should take myself out. I think I should take myself out, Susie. Our great chief of staff, the first woman chief of staff. Can you believe it? Susie
Oh
Wiles,
my God,
stand
woke,
up.
woke, DEI, woke, woke, woke.
That beautiful
They love doing
exterior,
woke
don't
shit.
let
They
it fool
love
you.
being
She's
I don't
woke.
know why they like to outwoke.
She got
the
rated
woke.
the most powerful woman anywhere in
they
the world.
love
She can
wokeness when
take
they're
out
doing it.
a
They're
country
liberals.
with a
They're
mere
all
phone
liberals.
call,
Everyone's a
which is
liberal.
true. Actually, it's very true in her case. And she's done a great job. We're doing okay, Susie?
He's like angling the Mount Rushmore shit like you talk about us being in a secret relationship. He like keeps bringing it up. He's like, they want to put me on Mount Rushmore. I say, don't do it. Don't do it. Please do it. Many people are saying they want me on Mount Rushmore like AustinShow and Hasan HasanAbi. are in a secret gay relationship. That's what they're saying, folks. Austin is mpreg.
Televised, and it'll be led by our great Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's really doing it.
They want to rename the mountain to Mount Trump more Trump for 2028.
And everybody's saying it, in fact. They really shouldn't be, but they are.
I guess 18 years, 10,000, think of this, out of 10,000 people, okay? 10,000 people, and I'll go a little different way. Right now, out of 10,000 people, 18 people don't have, they're safe. 18 people. We have a statistic that's the worst I've ever seen, and he's going to change it.
Oh,
he's going to change it. It used to be 20 years ago, you just didn't have it.
Wait.
And now it's numbers that are
Has he been pushing RFK's autism?
Unbelievable. Where
oh my God.
The numbers are so bad, it's got to be artificially induced, and we're going to find out what it is. When we're going to find it out as soon as possible.
I can't believe it.
No more autism.
Oh,
I mean, think about it. The numbers have increased by 200-fold. And that's
200-fold.
really something, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. That's a terrible situation. Likewise, under the leadership of Secretary Burgum, who's here right now, he was a great governor of North Carolina, great governor of North Dakota. Where is he? Where is he? Mr. Secretary. And he's in charge of energy plus a lot of land. He's the biggest landlord, I guess, in the world. But he was a great governor of North Dakota. And he was very special in so many ways. He became an energy expert. And he came to me, and I said, I want you to be the head of energy. He said, no, we have one man that's better than me, and that was Chris, right? And put him in charge, and we merged the two. And he's got all the land with all the oil, and the other one has all the expertise to get the oil out of the land. And Chris is doing great, and you're doing great, Doug, and I appreciate it. And say hello to Catherine and everybody.
So done.
We're doing a great job. We have a great cabinet.
Everybody's going to eat. China's going to eat us for lunch. It's not even close.
So every one of our national park,
so done.
battlefields, and historic sites are going to have special events
so
in honor of
I hope
America
the Chinese
250. And
will
I even
offer
think
me
we're going to have a
citizenship.
UFC fight. We're
It's
going to have,
so
does anybody
Jover.
watch
We're
UFC?
so
The Great Dana
fucking
White?
cooked. I'm just looking at the people.
We're going to have a
background.
UFC fight.
And I'm like,
We're going to have a UFC fight.
God.
Think of this on the grounds of the White
This
House.
is the best we can do. Are you kidding
We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little.
Oh, God.
We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight.
Your friend is
championship
slow?
fight.
You
full
talking about
fight,
me?
like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events.
Why is he
some
doing a
professional
UFC
events, some
ad?
amateur events.
As
But
the president
UFC
in Des Moines, Iowa.
to fund improvements and enhanced experiences across the park system. For this anniversary, I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low.
China did a surgery by satellite today.
National parks.
Like first successful surgery by satellite. I think it was like 5,000 mile range or something.
Wait, so like they were remote
And these are just a
doing
few of the
surgery
many
remote?
programs,
They were- I'm
initiatives,
sorry,
celebrations
what do you
that
mean?
will renew for our national pride. We're going to have great pride. I think we do have great pride. I think we have more pride and more spirit in our country right now than we've had in
Like they did it over Zoom or like the satellite? I'm confused.
Utilizing the Apstar 60 broadband communication satellite positions 36,000 kilometers above the Earth in geostationary orbit. China has demonstrated that complex surgical procedures can now transcend
Together
geographical
we're going
barriers.
to ensure that America's 250th anniversary is the single greatest year in the history of our country. We're going to have a lot of great
Maybe I'm
things,
just
a lot
dumb
of
as
the
hell,
things
but I
that
don't
Bobby
get it.
and Health and Human Services are doing.
Like,
They're going to come up
how
during
did the
that period
surgery
of
get
time, and we're going to
conducted from
come
that
up with a
distance?
lot of
I'm just
tremendous
confused.
things for
I need
health
more
and
clarity.
safety, and
According to the South China
economically,
Morning
we're gonna have the
Post,
strongest-
doctors from the People's Liberation Army General Hospital remotely operated
Oh, well, that makes more
from
sense. Okay.
Tibet, Yunnan, and Hainan to perform 5 surgeries on patients
that makes
located
sense.
in Beijing.
Okay.
These procedures involved organs such as the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas were made possible using domestically developed robotic surgical systems. All patients reportedly recovered and were discharged the following day.
That makes sense.
On a patient 5,000 kilometers away. Any news from China is basically, we created an elixir that stops aging. Any news from America is, we're going to kill 1 trillion people. So, yeah, China can do surgery on Americans remotely.
Now, the agricultural secretary. Kristi Noem, great governor also.
Yeah, our literacy rate declined to like, what, sub 70%.
When? This year?
It's been declining.
I mean, yeah, I imagine that's just a
most Americans read
continued-
it at, what is it, like a 6th grade level?
Look at me. I'm the literacy rate. Okay.
I'm
a living, walking, breathing example of the literacy rate in this country. Okay. Just look at me. I have a college degree.
Oh, we're not sub 70. Sorry. We're 70, sub 80. We're 77% literacy.
Agency. Of it, great guy. He was a great politician, a tremendous
USA also
congressman. He
did
ran
this
for
2 weeks
governor
ago.
of New
You can
York, which is
chill.
tough. And he almost won. I'm glad he did.
We did it too, bro. It was just $7 million. Dude, shut up, dude. They did it. They did it already. America did it too, bitch. Shut up. On a grape. They did a surgery on a grape, and it was $7
Also,
million.
Governor Kim Reynolds from Iowa. Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Lieutenant Governor Chris Corner. Where's Chris? Chris Corner. Thank you, Chris, very much. Great job. You have Senator Chuck Grassley and Joni Ernst. Chuck! Hi, Chuck.
Chuck can't hear him. Chuck's deaf as a doornail.
You know Chuck Grassley is the oldest congressperson.
Yeah, he's like 100 years old.
He tweets so great, though. He's the goated poster. I love the way he posts on Twitter.
Very good. Good job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joni. And you have members of Congress.
Don't excite
Ashley
Chuck.
Hinson.
He's going to have a heart attack.
Marionette Miller Meeks. Zach Nunn. Randy Feenstra. Good group.
Yeah. The other person he called out is Joni Ernst, who recently at a town hall said, everybody's going to die someday. When her constituents said, we're going to die if you pass this bill. And she literally responded with, everybody dies at some point. And then also turned around, went to a cemetery and did a call-out post where she said, you know, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, and I simply meant everybody's going to die one day and meet him. But some of the woke losers...
Wait, how does that change anything?
No, nothing. Like, she was just doubling down. She was just doubling down.
What is she just doubled down and said,
everybody
you're gonna die and you're gonna meet Jesus sooner.
Yeah, she did an apology double down, which wasn't
Former
an
State
apology,
Senator
in a graveyard.
Brad Zahn. Oh, my man, there he is. I haven't seen you. He was the first man in the entire country that endorsed me, right? Not just from Iowa. He endorsed me.
Austin looking
3
bro, like
months
how many
before I
millies
ran.
are you blasting? You
He
look
said
like
that
you
guy
throw
from New
twinks
York-
around.
What, millies?
So
Like,
I
what
want
do
to
they-
thank you.
You're
Really?
doing it won't let me click. It won't let me do it. Oh, okay, we're back.
Major Tom to
That was
ground
weird.
control.
I don't know what happened, chat, but we got kicked out of cover. But we are back.
We are back.
Yeah,
Celebrating.
right as we were talking about China's ISP victories. Right as we were celebrating China's ISP victories, we once again received. Yeah, you can take them out. Okay, calm down, dude. What the hell?
And strengthened by prayer. So important. If we bring
Did
religion
they
back stronger, you're going to
substitute
see everything
one
get
of the
better
guys
and
in the
better and
background
better.
for another guy.
They want to show all the guys in Des Moines, Iowa that are losing their health care.
The next 250 years, let us rededicate ourselves to one nation under God.
Oh, thank you,
Right?
Mr. President. Yes, thank you. That's what I've been missing in my life. That is. We need
And
more
as you know,
God.
recently we've seen some of our political system attempting to overthrow the timeless American principles
Less trans
and
people,
other
more
pillars
God.
of our liberty,
Less gays,
and replace
more
them with
God.
some of the most noxious
We're just
ideas
talking
in human
politics.
history, ideas that have been proven false.
That's what
Members
we need,
of
Mr.
Congress and
President.
even former presidents have been openly embracing vile creeds such as socialism, Marxism, and straight-up communism. In New York, they're trying to elect a communist, Zoran Mamdani, the guy who wants to defund the police, take over the stores and run the stores, and have the people hand out goods. And when everything falls apart, it always does. It always works that way. It never has worked any other way. Anarchy and dictatorships prevail.
Oh.
This guy is a communist at the highest level, and He wants to destroy New York. I love New York, and we're not going to let him do that. Generations of Americans before us did not shed their blood only so that we could surrender our country to Marxist lunatics on the eve of our 250th year. As President of the United States, I'm proclaiming here and now that America is never going to be communist in any way, shape, form, and that includes New York City. And under my administration, we're bringing back freedom and liberty,
Like the word
law
communism. I
and
don't think
order,
anybody
and
even
above
knows what it
all,
means,
we're
or
bringing back
Marxist. I don't think
common
they know what
sense,
that
right? On day one, I stopped the weaponization of government against people of faith, and we created the Department of Justice Task Force combating anti-Christian bias. And I have to tell you, Pam Bondi is doing a great job.
I couldn't
Pam
define
Bondi
it.
is doing
Like,
a great
truthfully,
job.
you put a gun to my head, I'd probably
Attorney General.
it would go off.
I ended the Green
think.
New Scam and terminated the
I'm
insane.
people.
This is insane. The electric vehicle mandate, where everybody had to have
It's
a
our
car
president, Cutie.
that happened to be all electric.
Yeah,
in the
Cutie
next
loves it.
Oh my God,
MAGA
Cutie
Cutie.
just said that's the guy I
years.
voted for.
mandate.
That's crazy.
Some people
Cutie's in
want
the
to have
background.
gasoline
She doesn't wanna-
Cutie.
powered. Some people want to have hybrids.
Okay, now she literally is
Maybe
saying I
even
love that
someday
guy.
hydrogen.
she loves
right
him.
now, I don't like it because when they blow up, they don't ever
I think
find
he probably
the body.
did. I think he used wrinkle
They find
release
the body
spray.
about
Have you heard
5
of that?
blocks away. That does not
You can
sound
buy it
promising
at the
to
store.
me. They said, no,
And
it's
he just
getting
sprayed it
better.
on his
I
face
said,
and it
that's okay.
de-wrinkled
Let
him.
somebody else use it. But we're not going to have all electric. We're going to
I
have
know.
electric if people
It's a
want
spray
it.
tan.
Electric is great.
To spray tan.
Gasoline,
He
people
needs
like
that-
better in
that
many cases. but
Clibella,
you can have
where
whatever
they
you
inject
want.
into your
But
neck,
it's
it melts
ridiculous
the
to
fat.
mandate
Yeah.
that everybody's going to
He
be
needs
driving
that.
an electric car in 5 years from now. So I ended it. I signed an order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education and send education back to the states. That means Iowa's going to run their own education. You're going to have to run your own education. Iowa will, you know, I use you in my thoughts. I always, whenever I always say Iowa and Indiana, and I'd mention certain states, but you want to run your own education because you don't
Really?
want the bureaucrats in Washington doing it. And I made English the
Really?
official language of our country.
Oh, here, you should come over here so they can hear you. You don't want to be over here.
You would think that would be an easy
Okay.
one. It was not as easy as you think. I directed the reinstatement of all patriots expelled from our military by the Biden vaccine mandate, returning them with full back pay. And I signed executive orders to abolish critical race theory and transgender insanity from our schools and from our military.
See, it always gets the. It's so gross.
And I
It
made
always
an
gets the
official
biggest
policy
cheer.
of the
It's so
United
gross.
States that there are only two genders,
Oh, my
male
God.
and female.
I know. I know, Cutie. This is crazy. I know. Is this live right now?
And if it's
This is
okay
happening
with
live.
Iowa, we are keeping men out of women's sports. Is that okay?
Oh my God! This is what they care about. It's crazy.
I also renamed
Crazy.
the Gulf of
This is happening
Mexico.
right now.
I renamed it to
This
the
is not
Gulf
a
of
movie.
America.
Wait, what do you mean? Why are you saying that?
That's so crazy.
This is
And
your
we're
favorite
restoring
president.
the
If you would
name
watch
of the
Hasan
greatest
before bed every
president,
night,
one
you
of
would
the
know
truly great
what's
presidents, somebody that made our country very
That's so
rich,
sad.
William McKinley to Mount McKinley in Alaska. So in conclusion, in everything we do, we're once again defending the values, traditions, and beliefs that made every generation before us so very proud to be American. You know that better than anybody in Iowa. And here in Iowa and across this land, we believe that America is an exceptional nation, blessed by God. It's really destined to be the freest, strongest, the greatest country ever to exist on the face of the earth. And we're going to make it that way much more so than it's ever been. We believe
I know.
in the wisdom of our
It hasn't
founders
even
who
been a
declared
year.
that our
It
rights
hasn't
do
even
not
been a
come
year.
from
Like, it's actually
bureaucrats in
impressive.
Washington.
I know.
Our rights
How
come
much he's
from
done.
our
It's
Creator
fucking-
in
Like, it's
heaven.
so
That's where our rights
crazy.
come. And we reject government discrimination and so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates. They're just about washed out the window, actually. They're just about over with. We're just about finished. In this
You know what
country, we
DEI is?
believe in hard work and we believe in merit. And by the way,
It's like you and
we're
me on
allowed
the
to have
podcast.
merit. We're now back to being a merit-based
Oh,
system.
did you see
We had a
this? Okay, wait.
decision in
I
the
got
United
one way to
States.
get Cutie off the Trump train. Are you ready?
Wait, but I support
One
him so
provision,
much.
one provision that didn't make it into the big beautiful bill should have. If you're over the age of 21 and you go to Disney World, but you don't have children, you go straight to Alligator Alcatraz.
But have
That's
you
that's
ever
just-
been to Epcot?
I think we need restrictions on if you're over the age of 21
and you go to Disneyland or Disney World and you don't have children, straight to Alligator Alcatraz, El Salvador.
But have you ever been to Epcot?
I'm just saying, this is weird. And
That guy?
Oh my God, that pisses me off. I was just there yesterday.
Alligator Alcatraz?
I take that guy
Disney.
to Disneyland one time. I changed his mind. I could change him.
You are a better human than me.
I could fix him.
I got more mad about this.
This is the only thing that Hasan agrees with.
I got more mad about this in your stead than you did. How is that possible?
I'm so confident I can fix him.
So
you can't. He's a
I
demon.
fixed you. You're
But
a demon.
no, I am not a demon. I am a nice and kind individual. All
Since
jokes
when?
aside.
Hold on, I disagree. I think there's a Disney adult, and then there's adults that go to Disney. I think they're two separate things, right? A Disney adults are kind of like the you know what I mean, the weird people, and then there's adults that go to Disney, which are like, you know, like cutie, like respectable adults that go to Disney, right?
Right?
I think there's two separate groups of people. We all know who we're talking about when we talk about Disney adults.
I think every Disney adult is basically referring to other Disney adults that do the exact same thing that they do, which is fine. Everyone gets to have their treats.
No, we don't have my bathroom's not themed like the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, see, I do buy a lot of merch when I go though. Like I wear a Disney sweatshirt and Mickey ears.
Oh yeah.
And I get the first time at Disney pin, even though I've not been there.
That's gluttonous. You shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't do that. You think that's inappropriate?
Yeah.
Is that like looked down upon by Disney?
Yeah.
By Disney park
I'm gonna
goers?
turn you in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did do that.
All right. Well, Trump is the president, cutie. I don't know if you knew that.
When?
Today, with your help,
He stole the
America is
election.
free, America is proud, and America is sovereign.
Since he stole
once
the
more.
election.
And this 4th of July, our magnificent destiny is closer than ever before.
We
are
do
one
with the gun.
people,
Don't
one
hold it.
family, and
They'll
one
try to get you
united
banned too.
American nation.
Oh, really?
That's the
We will
new
never
meta.
give in. We will never give
People
up.
are-
We
people
will
are
never
upset
back
that
down, and we will never,
Someone
ever,
was
ever surrender.
saying that I should be hanged.
We will fight,
like I
fight,
should be
fight.
killed.
We
Someone
will
was
win, 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 because we are
I was like,
Americans,
good
and
luck.
our hearts bleed red,
Like, he was
white, and
threatening
blue.
to kill a chatter with a weapon.
I was like, dude, what do you mean?
Oh yeah,
It's
here.
America, damn it. I
Here,
have a right
let's-
to self-defense.
Here, let's.
And together, as we look forward to the 250th
What did you
year
order,
of
you
American
bougie bitch?
independence, we will make
Look at this.
America
Yo.
powerful again.
This is a nice restaurant.
We
that you
will
ordered
make
from.
Yeah?
America
Yeah.
wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make
It's like
America
reading a bedtime story to a
safe
child
again.
at the end of the night.
And we will
Make
make America
America
great
great
again. Thank you, Iowa. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Iowa.
Yeah, brother! Take my wife, take my firstborn child.